All right, we are in week 33. We're actually about 3 or 4 days away from performing in the cube. We've already moved everything over on Friday, yesterday, and hopefully it all comes together, but it feels like it's coming together quickly. So at the last minute, we didn't decide to, we finally had enough time to work on the base motor. So Dungsu went after it and tackled it. So here you can see some Fusion 360. I think it's based on a little bit of a 3D printer, a belt drive, and then he modified it so it could fit our scenario that we needed. So you can see kind of the base, and also this is it all put together using a much smaller motor, non-geared motor, and then you can see the gear is 10 to 1, so it's putting a lot of torque on there with a belt. So took quite a while to get in. Took about an hour to get each one in, but definitely runs a lot smoother and a lot more reliable, this technique. So you can see it fits in there tightly now. Nothing's flying off or nuts falling apart like last time. So anyways, this is kind of inside tour of what their tight office space looks like. So the initial test of the base motor. Sounds a little bit quieter, well, a lot quieter than the previous one where it was a direct drive. This is belt driven. So, pretty exciting stuff. And you can see Dungsu holding the board. I think we have 1 or 2 backups, but our whole upper board's been fried, so we went with a different system to drive the servos and lights. We're not doing any haptics, any scent off these objects, or any touchable surfaces. So that will be on the next round when we get the upper board working. And here we have all 3 animatronics running in Unreal. You can see the code being kicked out. So you can see the whole team is kind of crunched in there, and here are some photo shoots for the graphic design aspect. So graphic designers were able to come into office and take some snaps of the project so far. So here's a Blender background, and we'll let Matt describe this.
Okay, this is the scene that we have in Blender. As you can see, it is built around these 2 cameras here. These will be the 2 panels that we have in the background of the exhibit. So for the particles, you'll see that there's a sphere here. We'll get into that later. So for these particles, I set up a geometry nodes so that the particles could work. We have a group input, mesh to volume. That is pretty much just a big cube, and anything inside the cube is counted as a volume. Then after that, distribute points in volume will distribute a bunch of points inside of the cube. Then we set the position. We set the position based on the scene time so that they'll move around based on this noise texture, depending on how long the scene has been active on the timeline. Over here we have instance on points. So this is changing the points to be a instance instead of just a point, so it has some geometry data. And then right here we realize the instances on the point so that each of the points can be edited in the shader directly, or edited by a shader directly, which will be important later. Over here, we store a named attribute. So this is how we have proximity to the sphere. This is where the sphere is important. These particles will light up based on their proximity to a sphere in the viewport, and that is this sphere right here. So, geometry nodes, we click on here. We get the object info of the light sphere, which is the sphere in the scene. We get geometry proximity, so it's for each particle, it's calculating how close it is to that light sphere. Then you're going to map the range. If the range is from 0 to 4, then it's within the range that we want to keep. So we'll map this. If it's 0, which is the closest thing to the cube, then it'll be an input of 1. And if it's at 4, which is the furthest away point from the cube, it'll be at 0. And anything further than 4 will also be at 0. So this here is the shader. We're getting this stored attribute. Up here, we're putting it into a color ramp, so anything that has the map range from 1 will be over on the right side here, and anything that is at 0 will be on the left side here. And we're putting that into the emission color with a constant emission strength. So if the emission color is black, it won't be emissive at all, and if it's over here, then it'll be emissive for this color. So I'll show you how that works in the layout over here. As we move the sphere around, the particles that are around the sphere are lighting up. That will work also in this direction, as well as in this direction.
All right, here we are with the poster design. For Design took this on as a project. I think they got this done in less than 2 classes. So here's just a few of the images. I think these are the top 4 that we picked out and did kind of a quick print run to see what they look like. They look fantastic. We noticed that we have one missing ID on there. The SOPA logo needs to be put on there, but other than that, it looks pretty cool. And here's a little bit of the dress rehearsal with the vocal and movement students. And I'll just let this run, but get a little bit of feeling of what they are doing. It's pretty exciting.
We've done 2 minutes. And now we gotta go
And here we have the final neck design. Sydney did a great job with designing this, kind of echoing what's happening below on the base, and also trying some cool things with the felt, trying to inlays of felt. I think this is Fusion, maybe it's ArcoCAD or AutoCAD. Anyways, pretty cool to finally get to print that out. We split it in half, and then we put a magnet on there, so when you see it here in a second, you'll see that it has a magnet snap to it, and also you can see kind of a corner edging there, so it prevents it from stabilizing at center. So this is the big ICAT cube scrim test that we did on Friday. So we decided to move everything at once, which we weren't expecting. We were going to do that on Monday, but we went ahead and moved everything. So things are already working. We felt that everything was small, and then we put up one of the screens, and so it definitely fills the space nicely.
I mean, this is set up more for how it's going to be for... sure, or mostly dark. Darkening. Which is seeing the content onto the curved screen, and then is just projecting it. So, like the projector in disguise is kind of acting like a virtual camera, almost, but then export and then outputting to that projector. So this is what the projector is seeing. So then I'm gonna basically map it. We'll do a 4-point deformation layer first and see what that gets us. Can't see the corners.
All right, here we are with the final screen test David set up with their really cool projector system. It's projectors in a different room, and it's all the light is being passed through a fiber optic to a lens, so it's a lot quieter in the space, so we can just concentrate on the spatialized sound and also the vocalist. So pretty exciting. See Sydney kind of puppeteering, just kind of seeing what it looks like. We will have a projector projecting down kind of the bog, so hopefully it will light up the faces of these. We may end up putting a spotlight pointing to the face, kind of show the fingers that are moving that you can't see, but pretty exciting. The background, I think we did several, like a dark test, and this is maybe the lighter test, but the lighter test looks a lot better because you can see a little bit more detail of everything. Start to see the particle system. So I think this is Act 1, or maybe sleepy cycle to things waking up with the particle system. So you can start to see what our renderings look like. So it's supposed to kind of set a scene of this bog, but not dominate the scene. It's just kind of background teaser of where you are, kind of a narration of what's going on. So pretty exciting. So that will be about 24 inches higher than it is. So we're working on a bracket. So these will all be encased with the clear bracket on the back. And here's our Scrum support build. This was on Saturday, so just a real quick sketch up of what we're going to do. Kind of 2x4s, then mocked up in SketchUp with Dongsu, and just kind of this system of brackets. Putting this together, we're going to actually assemble it in the cube on Monday. And so we bought all the wood on Saturday, just get it all pre-assembled, and then I took it in the backyard and just did a real quick spot paint of black on it so it's nice and easy. That's all I got for this week. Next week should be very exciting. Wish us luck.